Hi everyone, I'm here with Francesco Ciulla, who is a content creator, a developer, YouTuber, Twitter personality. I mean, how would you define yourself, Francesco?
I define myself just as a developer, but if you want to add some titles like Daenerys Targaryen, you can add whatever titles you want, and I'm here listening to your compliments, so please go on.
Okay. I will add now also Professor Francesco, if you like it.
This is the best compliment that you can make to me, because both of my parents are teachers. So if you call me professor, that's the best.
Yes, and maybe even your parents would be proud that I called you professor.
Probably.
Okay, so we are here today because I've been following you on Twitter, especially for some time. I think maybe a year or so. And I've always been fascinated by the way you have been able to get an important audience on Twitter and being also very, very good at creating content, I have to say, for developers on a broad range of topics. So I have a newsletter about engineering leadership topics, and I speak with many engineers and many tech leaders. One of their struggle is very often that they would like to build a better network and build a better online presence, both for themselves and for their company, because it's a clear win-win scenario. But they have they don't know properly how to start or what to do, right? This is very common. And I have to say, watching you do it, it seems quite effortless. Right, you speak of a broad range of topics, and I have to say I really like the way you approach the whole content creation thing. Yeah. So we didn't know each other before, so this is a chat even to know ourselves, and I would really love to hear from you. How did you get into programming? How did you get into this whole computer science madness? And then how did you get into social media and into content?
Thank you so much. I made this question to so many people that finally someone asked this to me. So thank you so much, Luca. Thank you so much for all your compliments. I hope that you can listen me properly. Okay, so from where do we start? Because you made me many questions. So can we start from the programming part?
Yeah.
Are you interested to that?
Yeah.
Okay, this is interesting. I'll not bore you with like I was programming with a Commodore 64, because I have that one, and it's still working on my garage.
Wow.
Once I'll make a video about that, but let's talk about just maybe the 2000s. I made the programming before being 30, but not seriously. So it was more like an hobby for me.
Okay.
A strange thing is that I also was a computer science degree student, but I didn't like programming. So you can think about how confused
why
I were. Yeah, I did all my math and algorithm exams, and not the programming languages one. So I was kind of confused. And then one day, one professor told me, after I passed an exam, he told me, "You'll never be a programmer because your code is not good," which was true, to be honest.
Wow.
But usually when a person says to me that I can do something, I started thinking about how I can prove that he or she is wrong. And so basically I come back home. I decided that I wanted to learn programming. And after a while, I do the long story short, I started with the Unity, so C#, something funny, because I needed something funny, because for me, programming was just something boring. So I wanted to change this. And after a while, I was really hooked. And I also had the opportunity to bring some YouTubers that I was watching video tutorials on my series, because I have a series when I interview developers. And I was 32. So it was the 2015. So this could also be a story for someone who says to me, maybe, am I too old to start being a developer? I've interviewed a lot of people who started even later than me in 44. But even you can be even older. It's not about that the age. It's about what you want to do, and then it's a world so huge that if you want to get into programming, you can get into that in some ways. You can be front end, back end, the DevOps. There are so many, and I said front end, but inside the front end there is already just another little word. So
it's very interesting, because, as you said, there is a lot of talk in tech that you have to be young, that after a certain age, it's no, I mean, in Silicon Valley, this whole startup culture that after a while you shouldn't, you cannot program anymore. You will be replaced. While it's really refreshing to hear that.
I think maybe we can say this about, I don't know, like football or basketball, but not about coding.
No, definitely. But again, this is not just about someone who's been programming for long and now he's not super young anymore, and you may think he has to change career. But even for someone who, like you said, hasn't started yet, and is just starting after 30 years old, and maybe he's asking himself, can I get into this right now, or is it too late? And the answer is definitely you can.
Yeah, of course it depends why you would like to do this, because I don't know, you can do this for money if you want. I don't know what could be the reasons. For me, for example, it doesn't work. If I want to do something just for money, it doesn't work. So this could be an incentive to
sure.
It will be useful to do something that is useful, that you can get money for that. But maybe it's, for me, it was more about like, I don't know, doing something that I was not comfortable in. Then in my case, I also was a computer scientist student, so I had to do this in some ways. And by the way, I finished my computer science degree. And also, if this can be, I don't know, inspiring for someone or not. I've worked for the European Space Agency. It was hard to leave that, to be honest. Then we can get into this if you want later. Sorry for the spoilers. We cut this part.
That's great. That's great. I'm sure this is inspiring for many people. So, and you got into programming. You got your degree. You started working, and did you immediately get into social media, into sharing your experience with other guys publicly, or were you somehow scared of doing this? I mean, how did it get started?
Let me say this. When I was, I think, 17, now I'm 37, I didn't like even Facebook. And then I don't know, maybe if I was, I don't know, maybe so too much in advance, but now a lot of people, they hate Facebook. Maybe I was an early adopter of this. I don't know.
Before it was cool,
but, Yeah, exactly. But I was really that person who never logged on any socials, just coded by myself, barely watching WhatsApp. But in 2020, I started using Twitter properly. I had a Twitter account, I think, for 2013. But in my first 7 years, I don't know, I made 50 tweets in 7 years. So I was basically inactive. And then I've decided to use the social media for me, because I've created a small application with Unity, and I've published that on the Google Play Store with a working banner, so with ads revenue. So it's kind of interesting, but it's just a periodic table. It's not about programming. It was basically a test. I did that application 3 days, 4 days. So it was something fast. My real aim was to test if the banner was really working, if they were working.
Right.
And
they were.
they work. Yeah, they work. This app now has like 3,000 of downloads. It gives like €2 per month. Not much, but it works. So
it's working. It's there. It's
yeah,
nice.
and also it's good. Let me say this: if you start, for example, a YouTube channel, and if you have already the Google AdSense account, I had everything prepared already for the monetization. So it's great. So basically, I created this application. Then I told this, I don't know, to my 50 friends, some of my family. So, and then I had nobody to tell about this. So I started using Twitter and a little bit also LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And then from that, it was January 2020. It really snowballed in a total different way. I started creating content, articles, and later on videos. So we can talk about that. It's one of my favorite topics. So I didn't have this plan to be, I don't know, people call me tech influencer. I don't know, but I was really want really to say that this was not my plan, like from the beginning. So instead, but I did something that maybe could be useful to someone that maybe is watching this. It could be useful for you if you are, for example, a person like me. So you are not that social extrovert person.
Yeah.
I started to clean my timeline. So, for example, I just decided to follow just developers. So when I went logged into Twitter, I already knew that I was about to talk about development, even jokes, something funny. But my favorite account that I follow are just developers. So this was my, I don't know, let's say little secret. I decided to stop following just someone because it's famous, but I focused on developers, even small accounts. Yes, there are some people who has maybe small accounts, but they are super knowledgeable. It's not about the number of followers, of course. This helped me a lot because I was more focused. Because let's say that Twitter is a mess. There's so many people tweeting, commenting every time. So for me, by focusing on only a group of people, developers, which are also people, of course, it was easier for me to connect with them, talk with them. So this is my little secret, let's say. Even if I have other interests, of course, running, I don't know, other things, cooking, gardening, but it was just for development.
Yeah. So if I have to take some takeaways from what you've said, one that comes to my mind is if someone asks, because many ask, is it too late in 2020 or 2021 to break into Twitter or social media from scratch?
No.
The answer is a resounding no. It's never too late. If you have something to share, if you are consistent, I mean, you have to do it if you want to do it. And the second thing that I believe you said, it's about focus. I mean, you have your timeline. You want to when you scroll your feed, be it Twitter or whatever, I think medium we are talking about, you want to see just what is in context to what you're going to talk about. Right?
Yeah. And also let me say, you don't have to do exactly what I did. I'm not saying that if a person posts a picture of a dog, you should unfollow or block that person. I'm not saying this. I'm saying that this by following people who talk mostly 90% about development, you are connected with people who are maybe on Twitter for the same reason. Because of course, and I made a whole series about how developers are not just developers, but they have a lot of other interests. But that works for me to talk about a specific topic on a specific platform. So this is important for me.
Yeah, and that makes it come to my mind another recurring fear that many people have that prevent them to than actually share anything or almost anything on in public. I would say that is many think that they don't have much to share. They don't feel like they're experts in something, right? And they believe that they have to really narrow down to some specific topic. Otherwise, it's not worth it. And they cannot find this topic. They don't feel like they are expert enough of anything to to create something that is valuable. And I would love to have your perspective on this, because from my perspective, watching your content, it feels like, yes, you may talk of some specific things like Docker. It's clear that you love that and you love other pieces of technology, but you also talk of many other things. And this might seem counterintuitive, but my impression is that that works. So you don't have to be the incredible expert or something to break into social media. So let me know what you think about this.
Yeah, first of all, there are very few experts about one topic. So even at
Of
Docker,
course.
I like that, but it's hard to find a super expert. Probably an expert, I don't know, maybe is not going to use that much the social media. I don't know. It depends. But maybe what I can say is that do something not for the sake of creating content. For example, I don't know, you are a front-end developer. You should not just, tweet about Python because you have a Python audience if you're not using that. That usually don't work. Don't work because then you have to split yourself between your job, your hobby, your family, your sleep, your eating, and then also creating content that you really don't like. You're doing just for free for someone. If you do something for free for someone, after a period of time, you get tired. This is the truth. This is the truth. Maybe you can last maybe 1 week, 2 months, 3 months, but it's very hard. Instead, for example, if you like really CSS, it's not my case, but let's say that you really like CSS, you are creating something for fun. If you do this in public, so you share, and CSS, the art, for example, they worked super good on Twitter. Then you are doing two things at the same time. You are creating something for yourself, and you're sharing your knowledge. So people will start, following you for that reason. Maybe they'll need some hints. They want to get started, but you are doing something while you are doing that. Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's I think it's great advice, and it also it's close to what I've heard from other successful creators, that you don't have to think too hard in advance about what should be your niche, what should be your segment. I mean, just start creating and focus on what comes easy to you because you like it, and eventually you'll get there. You will understand what you like more creating.
Yeah, let me also say this. You don't have to create super advanced topics. Maybe sometimes it's even the opposite. If you create something very basic, this you could also reach a wider audience.
More people.
Yeah, I have an example. I had on my channel Web Dev Simplified, Kyle. He has more than 500,000 of subscribers. YouTube, it starts from the beginning. So HTML, CSS, JavaScript, maybe just something very basic, but it's explained super well. It's super good at explaining things. So this is really, for me, for example, this is really a model of how you don't need to do super advanced stuff to be successful. Yeah. Maybe sometimes it's the opposite. If you do a very basic course, but it's explained super well, it can go way better.
I'm thinking of great newsletters I'm subscribed to, or great authors, and in many cases it's people that take something complex and make it simple.
Exactly.
So and I mean, we were talking of Twitter, and Twitter is like the foundations of Twitter is like compression of information, right? I mean, take something
Exactly.
and make it as simple as possible, because it has to fit these characters.
Likewise.
And so I completely agree. Simple content doesn't mean that it's simple to create. That's a kind of a disclaimer, but it's of course
Yeah.
even more easy to digest for more people.
Yeah, and of course you can change topic if you don't like. For example, I started creating some articles about Unity. For example, now I code less with Unity, so I stopped writing some articles. I started a YouTube channel. So you just really just take the really long run, just relax. You don't need to stress to. And let me say also something that, for example, also for me, maybe you in the beginning you think, oh my God, I need to create an article. Some people, what
Yeah.
people will comment on that. The sad truth is that probably very few people will watch your tutorial, your article. But this is a good thing, because then you can start small, show this to your friends, and then you grow little by little. So
Yeah.
don't worry. Don't. I hope that yeah, so
Just
you will
create.
not, yeah. It's more about the switch of mindset. So, for example, now,
Mm.
I think that now I have this mindset. I had not this mindset 1 year ago, 1 year and 2 months ago. Yeah, so for example, I was just, I don't know, just watching tutorials, reading articles. Instead, now I have an opposite mindset. If I find something useful, I share that on Twitter, an
Yeah.
article, or I create a video. So it's important. The most important thing is the switch of mindset from just consumer, which is not a bad thing, to be honest,
Yeah.
to a content creator if you want to help the community in some ways. To be honest, I started creating content to give back to community, but it's impossible, because the more you give back, the more people, yeah, start saying thank you. Like
The
you,
more
for
you
example,
get,
you,
the more you
yeah,
get from the
exactly, yeah,
community.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's impossible to give back. To be honest, I started creating articles to try to give back, but it's never enough. Yeah, I always feel in depth with community.
I think that can be a great quote, a great takeaway, that it's impossible to give back, because the more you give back, the more you get in response for giving back. That's true, and it's one of the beautiful things about internet, to be honest.
Perfect.
And I absolutely get what you say about this change of mindset, right? I mean, I've started writing the newsletter more or less 6 months ago. I had never written that much
Oh,
in public.
okay.
Especially, I had never done something with the precise commitment, that you have to produce something once per week. And that over time changed it completely how I thought, even unconsciously, about things that I read, things that I saw
Yeah,
on everything. Because now it's like I have this processing background that when I read something, thinks, oh, okay, maybe that can be that it's nice, it's useful. I can share it. I can create something out of it. It really changes your brain. I agree.
exactly. Exactly. And you don't have to start, I don't know, like from zero to a bestseller book. You can start
Yeah,
very small, and then you grow, because you need feedback of people.
yeah,
You need to understand also what you want to create, because that's the most important part. Is you of course you help other people, but why do you want to create a newsletter? Why do you want to create articles? Why do you want to create a YouTube channel? This is very important, and this can
yeah.
change in the future. Yeah,
I agree. And in fact, I think that as much as you can think in advance about how you will feel about something, you will discover things even about yourself, about what you're doing that you didn't expect.
um,
For example, one thing that I didn't expect starting writing is how much this would lead into personal growth, just because it led me to read more and read in
exactly.
a way that made me retain more information, because I knew that I had to write about them. And this wasn't something that I necessarily expected, but it was like a very welcome surprise. I mean, I'm feeling that there is this flywheel, positive flywheel, that I create more content, I grow personally and professionally by myself, and I get I get to know more people like you, like others, get to have more network, more audience. So it's like things that reinforce themselves, and it's not something that I had planned from day one. If I hadn't just started, I wouldn't have. I've never discovered it.
Yeah, and let me say that I have maybe one of the best example. For example, on my YouTube channel. If you want, we can talk about that later.
Yeah, sure.
But I started creating some tutorial. No, I don't want to say this. Let's start from the beginning. Yeah. But please remember me to make this example. Yeah, later.
Okay. But I mean, one thing that I wanted to ask you actually, and so it ties into your observation, is that now you create for multiple platforms, right? You started maybe on Twitter. Now you have your YouTube channel, like you were saying. So how does it work now for you to create content? I mean, is there, do you have something in place, some systems? Do you use content from one platform to the other? How you think about creating content these days that you maybe have like leveled up? You know, you are on multiple channels, and you have more opportunities, but also more duties. So how do you think about this?
Yeah, this is a hard question, but I try to answer because I'm trying still to figure it out, and I don't know if I'll ever get there. Important to have a YouTube channel as a developer because it's a powerful media. So if you create some content, it's great for me to make a video about that. It's not a must. You can be super successful without even having a YouTube channel, of course. From my point of view, from the content creator point of view, it helped me a lot because I know that now, before that, I was just, like writing an article. I use Hashnode, for example, as a blog platform, and that's it. So I just share that on Twitter. Now, if you want to share all the process, you can create some tweets about that, then create an article, and then the video about that. It's a longer process, but you get way more traction, in my opinion. So I don't have an answer, a precise answer for this because it's hard to. And in my opinion, you should stick to the format of the platform. So you should adapt to what the platform says. I don't know. For example, I've never published a Docker video on Twitter because Twitter is for text. Of course, now someone will check all my timeline and they say, no, you published a video about that in this day. Okay. But this is, usually you use Twitter to post some threads. For example, I like to share some Docker tips on Twitter because I like the format of trying to fit all I can in just one tweet. So even threads are good. So I don't have an answer for this because it's hard to be on different platforms. I like YouTube. I like doing live streams because at least you don't have to edit. And not just about that, but for example, I've seen that a lot of people, they really like to be on live streams. So they like to interact with you, making questions. I have some people that I start to recognize because even if maybe they don't have a Twitter account, they jump so often on your live streams. So those people for me are really precious because they really keep you going. But it's a total different media.
I get your point completely. I was talking with a friend of mine a few weeks ago. We were talking also of my newsletter, and he told me, but I don't read all the articles because I'm not much into newsletters. I prefer YouTube videos. I prefer podcasts, and while there are other people that much prefer to read than to listen to a podcast. So different people have different habits when it comes to consuming content. If you're able to be on multiple channels, my feeling, like you said, is that you get, let's say you are on 3 channels, you have maybe your YouTube channel, you have a newsletter, and then you have your Twitter account. If you are able to take one topic, let's say one interview, and then repurpose that content on the different channels in ways that make sense for the channel, because you have the video for YouTube, you make a nice blog post for your newsletter, for your blog, and maybe a Twitter thread that makes sense, is concise, on Twitter. Then you have 3 times the benefits with less than 3 times the work, I would say. So yes. It's like it compounds. It feels like.
Yeah. The only problem is that we have a life, a family, and we need to do other stuff in the meanwhile. Otherwise, that will be super easy.
The perfect world.
And not so fun. Yeah, not so funny. But sometimes, for example, it's also good to be connected with other content creators. This is a super important thing. It changed really my life to be connected with other content creators from the beginning. So if you want to change your mind, you should be connected with people like that who already have maybe a small YouTube channel. Then you can be connected with them. It was a really game changing for me. So
that brings me to the second big topic I wanted to talk about, because so far we have said many things in the along the lines of it's easier than you think, you can do it. You can do it right now, even if you haven't done it before, and so on. So we have to I think we have a duty towards people that have never done it to convince them that it's easier than they think. Remove this fear, right? The other duty that I think we have is to increase this motivation to do this, because they see the benefits. They see how, your life can change. Your life has changed, and their life can too, by starting doing this thing. So my question is also, has your life changed since you have started doing all of this, and how, if so?
Well, I've just quitted my full-time job to be a freelancer and content creator. So I would say yes. I would say yes. To be honest, a huge yes. To be honest, this was just like my first idea to do this as a freelancer. Not about content creator, but some years ago I had this idea already. Then I got this opportunity to work full time for the European Space Agency. So I caught the opportunity. Yes. But now I feel that I'm ready also to be on myself. So this really changed my mind. And also I need to say that I also have the support of my family, my girlfriend. So she's with me. So this is a good thing also for me, that she likes already what I do. So thank you.
That's very important. She likes that you're a YouTube personality now.
I don't know if I am a YouTube personality, but she supports me. In every
way,
that
of
I
course.
made, because she also sees the change. Because now that I'm free, I can go for a run. We can travel. Maybe after the COVID will end, of course. So it's different, but it's not about working less, but it's working on a different time. For example, I don't have problem also working during night, early morning. I wake up super early, 4 a.m., 5 a.m. So I don't have problem with that. But sometimes the 9. For my problem is really to get bored. So if I get bored,
it's over.
It's over for me. I don't know. I admire people who can really do something without even being super entertained. But I need that part. And also one important thing is that by having both of my parents teachers when I was just developer, I really missed that part of teaching to someone, explaining things. I've been, I don't know if you know this, but I've been a volleyball coach for 20 years
Wow.
before being a developer. So this was
Wow.
my job. So I came from the sport world. I trained.
Wow.
I've worked with thousands, maybe of players. So I still have this sport mentality and mindset.
Yeah.
But now I apply this to development. I like to create teams,
Yeah.
talk with people. So the
Yeah.
only problem for me was really to talk in front of a camera and my English. These were really my real two problems that had to be solved. I think that I've solved at least the shyness in front of a camera. My English is still bad, but it's better than
No.
before. If you watch my first video, trust me.
It's not bad. It's not bad, definitely. And I
Thank
think
you.
the whole thing of having to have a great English to create content, it's overrated. If you have something to say and it's interesting and you're able to make yourself understood in a way, then it's fine. So
Yeah. And
so maybe you have these genes in your DNA of teaching on education because of your parents, because of your early life as a coach, and you just progressed doing the same for development.
Exactly.
It's great.
Yeah, and for 3 years I really missed that part to teaching to people, but I couldn't figure it out how I could have done this because I was not a social media person. So I was like one person who said, maybe this is not for me. It's just for extroverted people, but it's not. It's not. You can do this. I've created a term. I don't know if you know that, like Introvertuber, which is an introvert who is also a YouTuber. So you can be an introvertuber too. This is a free term to use, but I created this because I got one message who told me, Francesco, you were so introvert. Look at you now. I'm still an introvert. I'm proud to be an introvert. So it's just we should never hide our true nature. So
I agree.
I'm here to show that if you are an introvert person, you can do this. And I got you can't imagine how many messages I got every day on Twitter and on mail saying to me, "Thank you, Francesco, for what you're doing. I'm an introvert too, and I feel like you." So it's important to show when you show your true nature, people like that. Of course.
I think that's a big part that it's often misunderstood or not considered, that people want to connect with other people genuinely. When you watch a video or read something written by someone, I think you have not just the desire to learn something or to watch the content in itself, but it becomes even more powerful when you're able to feel a connection with this person, and you can't fake it, and people feel it after a while. So you have to stay true, like you said, to your nature and create what you create while not hiding. And what was maybe you believed was your a weakness, like introversion or English or whatever, it becomes like something powerful because in the eyes of other people, it empowers those who feel the same to do the same, and they become your greatest fans.
I totally agree with this. And also, I can say one thing because I got this question some days ago on a Twitter space. I was invited. I'm a kind of fan of Twitter spaces. One person told me, should I create my YouTube channel in English or in Romanian? So I told me, you can do whatever you want, of course. In my case, I have created my YouTube channel doing English videos because it's a way for me to practice English. So it's not about me to be prepared to have a YouTube channel when I have English videos. It's the opposite. I I practice my English while I am on my YouTube channel. So this could be a great thing for you.
Absolutely.
And of course, you can be super successful if you do videos on your mother tongue. Of course, it depends on the content you create. I had always this idea to create English videos about development. So I stick to this idea because I have connected with some Italian communities. Just one, to be honest, with Fabio Biondi. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, I know Fabio.
Yeah. We send messages almost every day. So maybe you will see us together one day. But and for example, he does just content mostly in Italian. And he's super successful.
And it's fine.
I'm looking forward to make an interview with him or jump on one of his live streams, for example.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you should just do what you are more comfortable with, but or even what makes you uncomfortable, but it's an opportunity for growth. Because anyway, even if it seems like this niche, it would be too small, maybe the Romanian ecosystem is small. I mean, there is the famous saying that internet niches are always bigger than you think, even when you take into account that they are bigger than you think. So it's always valuable what you do.
Yeah, and of course, doing a video in Romanian is better than not doing videos at all. So is the other choice is not creating content? You should do that in any language you want.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Even just talking with I don't know, Italian gestures, something like that. You can also try without even talking.
Mamma mia! Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, no, I agree. So, Francesco, it was a great chat. I want to ask you before we leave, do you have any plans for the future? What we can expect from you in the coming months, in the coming years? Something you want to anticipate? I don't know.
I have some big announcement, but still can't do this public. But something as big is coming on my job side. So because I've created some important job offers on Twitter. So stay tuned for that, Luca, because I'm gonna reveal this soon, maybe very soon. But then. I think, as I was talking about before, it's super hard to be a content creator full time, and I'm not that good. I'm not that funny. I'm not that big YouTube channel, so I'll stay on the 99% of people that I also interviewed. They keep doing their job every day. Meanwhile, they create content. So this is my plan. You will see me everywhere, but for now I'll keep doing coding and development because I love doing that. So this is my plan for now. Then I had so many people that they were just developers. They had a YouTube channel, then they grew, and then one day they decided to go, I don't know, full content creator on YouTube, or maybe not. I'll see this in the future. So I'm not planning this. You will see me often on some videos, but this is my plan for now. So I'll keep coding as a freelance, and then I'll see. Because if I'll have a very good video, or very good series, then I'll decide to make the jump.
See.
So if you want me to be a full content creator, please watch my videos, like my videos, and then one day I'll become a full content creator. So because I don't want to struggle doing videos, struggle doing coding, like thing. I want to really enjoy this YouTube channel, my life, everything. I don't want, because I've also talked with people who decided to try, I don't know, for 6 months to just do videos, and at the end they made the decision, maybe I don't know if it was worth or not. Instead, I was I just want to enjoy, talk with awesome people like you, Luca.
Thank you.
This is what I want to do. I want to put myself in the best condition to maybe create something useful for someone. Maybe this comes from being, I don't know, coming from the sport world. It's more about the condition. If you are happy, if you enjoy your life, I'm sure that you will find a way to create content, video. So this is what I'm working on.
I think that's very sensible advice. I mean, one step at a time. You don't have to think it's a rush. It's a marathon. It's a very long thing. You can take your time and don't do something that is stressful while you could just keep doing like you're doing. So that's great, and I will wait for the big announcement. So we start lurking on Twitter, waiting for you to announce.
Yeah. Let's see, Luca. Thank you so much. Yeah, you've been a great host. It's a relief for me finally to get interviewed. It's good to stay on this side.
But I mean, I contacted you for this reason, because I saw you did so many interviews that I thought, man, he needs someone to interview him, because otherwise he will be super tired of doing all these questions, while instead I can do some questions for him, and so he can relax.
No, to be honest, I'm doing interviews still weekly because I really like to do them. I like to create strong connections with people, also with you. It's better to do something like that instead of, just chatting for months on Twitter. It's harder. In this way, it's 100 times easier for both of us, and we also have something that also we can share with someone else if someone would like to listen or what it is.
Yeah, for sure. So, okay, thank you, Francesco, for being with me for this chat. I mean, it was really a really great chat, very insightful, and I'm sure it will inspire many people to do something similar to you. And I really love this chat. So, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Luca. Thank you.